Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Afika binti Zaidi, matrix number 20105209. I'm going to answer question 1 for dilemma part 1. Based on the question, yes, AVC has an ethical duty to consider the whole supply chain, as emphasized by the Engineering Council of India's Code of Ethics. Firstly, based on Article 1.1, AVC must verify that suppliers do not engage in harmful practices like forced or child labour to ensure public safety throughout the supply chain. Next, on Article 1.2, respecting local and international laws, upholding human rights, and ensuring compliance with labour laws by QEM and its suppliers is crucial for preventing legal and ethical breaches in the supply chains. Article 1.4 mentions that AVC should verify that QEM's sourcing practices do not contribute to environmental degradation, aligning with broader sustainability goals. Refer to Article 2.4, AVC needs to vet QEM and its supply chain to conform ethical practices, including verifying documentation and conducting on-site inspections for compliance. Article 3.1 says that AVC must act with integrity by being transparent about its supply chain practices and ensuring that its suppliers do the same. This builds trust with stakeholders and ensure ethical consistency. Lastly, Article 3.4 says that AVC ensure that QEM and other suppliers meets ethical standards to act in the best interest of its client to produce products free from unethical labor practices.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan Nur Alia Nabila binti Omparit nombor medik 2010533066. I will continue with dilemma part 1, question 2. During visit to QEM, it's important to ask a target question, engage with various stakeholders and collect specific evidence. Question to ask. First, based on requirement practice, the question is what kind of background check or conduct on new hires. Second, on labor contract, the question is are all employees provide with written contract in language they understand? Next, how to get this information? With interview and discussion, the company should have private and confidential conversation with employees to get honest feedback. Proceed with who to talk to first. Worker representative need to understand any collective negotiation agreement and the reality of employee involvement. Lastly, evidence to collect based on photographic and descriptive evidence, photograph of the factory premise, safety measure, and workers' facility during the factory tour. By asking this question, engaging with key stakeholders and collective relevant evidence, you can assess the risk of forced or child labor at QEM.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Putri Nosyaira binti Nasaruddin and my metric number is 2010530 Together with Shahada, we will answer the question of dilemma part 2. In this scenario, there are signs indicating the potential presence of forced labor within QM workforce, although conclusive evidence is lacking. By considering the lens of uncertainty and risk, the precautionary principle advises against taking risks that could lead to ethically unacceptable outcomes, even in the absence of certainty. Considering the seriousness of the accusation and the ethical implication, I would choose to be cautious and decide not to use QAM as a supplier until the concerns about forced labor are properly addressed.
Nur Syahada Batrisha binti Muhammad Zahir, number metric 2010533062, and I will be continuing. Although QEM offers the lowest prices, these savings aren't worth the potential ethical and legal consequences. A thorough review of QEM's labor practices by an independent auditor should be conducted before making any decision. In the meantime, other suppliers should be considered, even if they are more expensive and might cause delays, as they are likely to meet higher ethical standards and reduce the risk of harm to the company's image.
This situation presents difficult ethical challenges for us as professional engineers. The main issue is how to balance cost and ethical concern, especially regarding potential forced labor practices. We must ensure that ethical practices are followed throughout our supply chain, especially in regions with different standards and laws. The cultural context adds further complexity, as what may be normal in our country could be ethically questionable in another. We need to address these challenges by upholding ethical standards, being transparent and accountable, upholding and possibly carrying out through due diligence, seeking alternative, or working to improve conditions within the supply chain.
As an engineer, the ethical challenge that we will face are to ensure that all suppliers fully understand and agree to this standard. Despite language barrier and cultural differences, it might be difficult to communicate and apply the ethical standard across the country. Therefore, communication with suppliers can be limited by language and ethical differences. Different countries with different standards make supplier monitoring and audit more complicated. Further, Some countries have effective law but limited enforcement, making ethical compliance challenging. Besides, verifying that subcontractors comply with ethical practice, especially with report of forced and child labor, is difficult.
In this scenario, ethics play a crucial role in this situation. As a professional engineer, it is vital to choose supplier while staying true to our company's values. Ensuring ethical practice is particularly challenging when dealing with different cultures and law. One of the significant challenges is ensuring fair treatment and respecting human rights when working in countries with different standards, law, and cultures. Some countries may have a weaker labor law, which can lead to unsafe working conditions or allow child labor. These differences make it challenging to maintain ethical standards.
As an engineer who works internationally, ethical challenges stem from differing standards, laws, and cultures. Balancing global ethical norms with local practices is crucial, as is addressing power imbalances that may pressure suppliers to compromise. Ensuring supply chain transparency is key, though it can be challenging in regions with limited visibility. We must navigate these dilemmas with cultural sensitivity while upholding universal ethical principles. Continuous learning and adaptation are essential to ensure decisions aligned with ethical obligations, fostering transparency, accountability, and collaboration for global sustainability and social responsibility. So that's all from us. Thank you.